Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Sri Prabhupada. Welcome to this morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. We continue with chapter 2 and text 5. Chapter 2, sorry, I have to start over. Canto 2. We're in Canto 2, the status quo. Chapter 5, and this morning we'll be doing text number 8. So without further ado, I'll start the class. There was someone else that was supposed to fill in, and I did a little waiting, and it doesn't seem like, whatever the reason is, she can't come on right now, so I'll start the class. Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivadadhari, Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivadadhari, Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana, Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana, Jamunatira Vanachari, Jamuna Tira Vanachari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivadadhari, Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivadadhari, Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana, Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana, Jamunatira Vanachari, Jamunatira Vanachari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivadadhari, Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivadadhari, Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana, Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana, Jamunatira Vanachari, Jamunatira Vanachari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivadadari Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivadadari Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Vrajajanaranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari 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 Jayam Vishnupad Paramhansa Privajikacharya Astottara Satasisi Mara Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai Jayam Vishnupad Paramhansa Privajikacharya Astottara Satasisi Mara Divine Grace Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai ISKCON Founder Acharya Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवाचार्य गौर भक्तवृंद की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय वृंदावन धाम की जय मथुरा धाम की जय नवद्वीप धाम की जय जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय जगन्नाथ स्वामी की जय गंगा मई की जय जमुना मई की जय तुलसी देवी की जय भक्ति देवी की जय हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय सामवेद भक्त बिंद की जय Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bo. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the lotus feet of Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Glory Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnu Panaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Krishna Padaya Prabhupada Siddhartha Shri Guru Karma Shakti Bhakti Vedanta. Narayana Namaste Chanarun Chaivan Narotamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tatojayam Udivayat Nashta Praeswa Bhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatu Tamasloke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtaki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, then Chapter 5, Text 8. Etame prichyata sarvam sarvagya sakaleshwara vijanihi yate vedam aham buddhye nushasita. Etame prichyata sarvam sarvagya sakaleshwara vijanihi yatai vedam aham buddhi nushasita. Etanme prichyata sarvam sarvagya sakaleshwara vijanihi yatai vedam aham buddhi nushasita. Hare Krishna. You may chant if you want to. Hare Krishna.
Etanme pritchata sarvam sarvagyan sakalashvara vigyanti yatai vedam aham buddhya nushashita. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anyone else?
एतन्मे पृच्छतः sorry. एतन्मे पृच्छतः सर्वज्ञ सकलेश्वर विजानीहि यथे वेदम् अहं बुद्धे अनुशासितः. हरे कृष्ण.
Hare Krishna. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
एतन्मे पृच्छत सर्वं सर्वज्ञ सकलेश्वर विजानीहि यथैव वेदम् अहं बुद्धेनुशासित.
Anyone else?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
एतन्मे पृच्छता सर्वज्ञ सकलेश्वर विजानीहि यथैवेदम् अहं बुद्धे अनुशासितः.
Hare Krishna. Anyone else? Okay, we'll do word for word now. Etat, all those, me unto me. Prechta, inquisitive. Sarvam, all that is required. Sarvagya, one who knows everything. Sakala, overall. Ishvara, the controller. Vijanihi, kindly explain. Yata, as. Eva, they are. Idam, this. Aham, myself. Budye, can understand. Anusha Sita, just learning from you. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My dear Father, you know everything, and you are controller of all. Therefore, may all that I have inquired from you be kindly instructed to me, so that I may be able to understand it as your student. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The inquiries made by Narad Muni are very important for everyone concerned, and as such, Narada requested Brahmaji to deem them suitable so that all others who may come in the line of disciplic succession of the Brahma Sampradaya may also know them properly without any difficulty. Oma Ginat Mirandasya Gyana Gyana Shalakaya Chakshu Miritam Jena Tasma Shri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kalamayam Dadati Swa Padantikam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gora Bhani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschathyadi Shantarini Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Padayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namni Gurachise Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadha Sivasari Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Hare Hare. So you just please give me a second to fix something here, and then we'll be on. Okay. So the English translation again. My dear Father, you know everything, and you are the controller of all. Therefore, may all that I have inquired from you be kindly instructed to me so that I may be able to understand it as your student. So these are the words of Narad Muni. Hare Krishna. And my dear father is Lord Brahma. So Lord Brahma's son, or one of his sons, of his many sons, is Narada Muni. And Narada Muni is expressing great confidence in Lord Brahma because Lord Brahma is the creator. He's actually the secondary creator, Lord Vishnu being the primary creator. But Lord Brahma is being addressed as creator and controller of all because that's what Narada Muni understands up to the point. And he said, everything that I've inquired from you, my dear Father, please answer them kindly and in such a way that I may be able to understand it. And Srila Prabhupada adds even more. Not only was it important for Narada to understand it, But everyone coming in the line of disciplic succession from Narada should also be able to understand it and know them properly without any difficulty. How important it is. Most of us have been to school. We have experience of this. We have a number of teachers teaching us, especially once you get to high school, and not many high schools are set up that the teachers teach specific subjects. So when the time comes, a specific teacher, a particular teacher comes, or you go to a particular building where the teacher is, if the institution is that rich and has more buildings, but you meet a different person. And we are able to make some comparison after a while. This teacher is a very good teacher. This teacher, I'm not so crazy about how he teaches, and this and this and this. We look at, we tend to assess the teachers like that. Then we speak among ourselves as students. Now, why do we say this teacher is good, this teacher is not good? Only one reason. The way they present the material. They present the material in such a way that the student can understand it. Now, how was the teacher able to do that? They actually trained in doing that. The teacher, when they're making the notes to teach, they compare themselves to the students and put themselves in the shoes of a student. That is, if I was a student, how would I like to hear this? How would I like to, what would make it possible for me to understand? What kind of words, when I hear from a teacher, would make me understand the subject matter well? A good teacher considers all of this. And so in their mind, they come down to the level of understanding of the student. And this is what Brahmaji is being asked to do. Narada says, I've inquired from you a number of questions. It was mostly about the material creation and also about the fact that Narada had seen Brahma go through intense meditation. And the supreme controller doesn't meditate on himself because he doesn't have to. But when someone that high is meditating, it caused Brahma to think, it caused Narada to think, there must be somebody that you're meditating to. And that means maybe that person has a higher position than you. But I see you as the controller of all. So please instruct me so that I may be able to understand. Another situation would happen at the Battle of Kurukshetra before the war. Arjuna was also bewildered. And he also requested Krishna, let's not talk as friends now. Please be the spiritual master, the guide, and I be your student. And instruct me. Kindly instruct me. Very important that when we don't even say it like that, when we are in the presence of senior devotees, those who have more experience in devotion, we should have that mindset. So this person will tell me things that I don't know about, therefore, let me patiently hear them out. We should never, ever be in a challenging mood. A devotee that's in a challenging mood will never grow devotionally. In other words, the humility simply isn't there. And without humility, one cannot be a good devotee or strive towards perfection. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, there are so many instances of where a devotee is inquiring from another devotee, and the strength of the Chaitanya Charitamrita especially is because it shows how pure devotees relate to each other, the words that they use, and the situations that occur between them on a daily basis and how they handle it. It's very instructive. It's not gyan. It's all wisdom and how to live devotionally, practically. So that's the strength of Chaitanya Charitamrita and the benefit to all of us. And that's why Srila Prabhupada insists that we need to know the basics from Bhagavad Gita, the details from Srimad Bhagavatam. If you know that, then you know that factually. It's like a person that's learned, going to medical school and taking all the subject and passed them. Now you become a doctor? No. Before working, you have to have the practical experience. And so that person leads you by the hand. So the practical experience is summarized. Well, I shouldn't say summarized. Practical experience is explicitly made available in Titani Charitamrita. So in this case, Narada Muni is asking Lord Brahma to explain, since he's a controller and things come through him, the creation, that he would get very, very, very good instruction from his father. He believes that. That's why he put himself in position, I'm going to be your student. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada said, inquiries are made by Narada Muni. Those inquiries are very, very, very important. The inquiries are important. It is, in fact, very appropriate and pleasing to pure devotees when they ask questions involving Krishna. Anything connected to Krishna. The sages in Namisaranya were especially pleased to inquire for Sutta Goswami to explain what he had heard from Sukadeva Goswami when he was instructing Maharaj Pariksit on the banks of the Ganga in the 7 days that Maharaj Pariksit had left in his life. He was going to leave. They wanted to know topics about Krishna. Narada Muni assumed, and correctly, because how Srila Prabhupada puts it in his purport, in the short purport, it makes that point. Narada Muni assumed that Brahma would definitely instruct him about things that are in the creation true enough, but he would relate it also to Krishna. And we all see that it would happen because Narada Muni had inquired about someone possibly being there who is greater than Brahma, since he saw Brahma doing intense meditation. You meditate on something or someone. And Narada said it has to be someone who's meditating on. So, Srila Prabhupada says the inquiry made by Narada Muni, those inquiries are very important for everyone concerned. That is all of us. So Narada had requested Brahmaji to speak in such a way that is suitable so that all others that come in the line of disciplic succession of the Brahma Sampradaya may also know them properly and without any difficulty. The Brahma Sampradaya is mentioned, and that's where we are connected to. There are 4 Sampradayas, and Brahma Gaudiya Sampradaya is what we are connected with. Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. So Sampradaya is a school we're learning from, and some of the things that we are to learn as devotees have also been spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We're fortunate that Krishna took the time to instruct Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita many things that are very, 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 very important. Brahma is going to be talking about the material creation, but the material creation is from Lord Vishnu, and Lord Vishnu is spiritual, and what is important to us is the fact that spiritual is what generates the material. So even in our lives, when we have material challenges, the solutions, according to what my Maharaj explained, and it's very clear, the solutions are spiritual solutions. Only non-devotees try to look for material solutions for their material problems. And they try to look for those solutions on their own. Then you go a little bit higher, atheists, up to religionists. Religionists also understand that when there are problems, you turn to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. God as they know him. They start praying for help. Praying means they're surrendering to the Lord because they don't have a solution to their problems. Narada wanted to understand about creation, so he went to his father And basically, the questions are just like the way we pray also. We pray to ask for some things. So we make requests. And Narada is also making a request. Mm-hmm. So the spiritual gives solution to the material. So for us, and we've lived this material life lifetime after lifetime, several lifetimes. Mm-hmm. And now that we know that the material is actually just what it is temporary, but the spiritual is what gives rise to the material. Lord Vishnu created the material universe. He's spiritual, so that is the proof. Karanadaksha Vishnu is completely spiritual, but the material came from him. Therefore, it's the spiritual that guides or rules over and solves situations of the material. So how should we lead our lives? Well, that's explained by the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 16, and the first, second, and third verses, texts, Supreme Personality of Godhead talks about godly men, those that are endowed with divine nature. What are they like? What are their days like? What do they know? And what do they do? That would be very good advice for all of us and information that is critical towards our bhakti yoga to keep our yoga or devotional creeper strong. Srila Prabhupada explains, translates 16, 1 and 3, 1, 2, and 3 from Bhagavad Gita, that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, said, fearlessness. So that was the first point that Krishna brought up, fearlessness. If we are surrendered to the most powerful person and most influential personality anywhere in existence, if we are surrendered, fully surrendered, we coming under full protection of that personality, what is there to fear? What is there to fear? Nothing can defeat Krishna. No one can defeat Krishna. No one can even come up to the level of Krishna. And if we are fully surrendered to Krishna, what is there to fear? The only thing that we need to have in the mind is, my Lord will protect me. Therefore, I have no need to fear. It also means that we do need to use our intelligence to make decisions that don't put us in harm's way. The same Krishna that would protect us has also given us intelligence. Therefore, sometimes some things come up where the Lord in the heart, the Paramatma, pricks the intelligence, send this message to this particular person. Don't do this, or don't do this at this time. So fearlessness should go along with common sense. In other words, as my Guru Maharaj gave an example by Chaitanya Maharaj, every living entity has a soul, is the real soul. The soul is in the heart of the living entity. The super soul is also in the heart of the living entity. So I see a tiger and I'm going, okay, I have to think of the first class level. Here's a tiger. The tiger's heart, soul is there. It's just like my soul, same quality. Super soul is there. In me, super soul is in the tiger. Therefore, there's fearlessness. Yes, Krishna said that. So then you just approach a tiger, and the tiger open his mouth, you put your head in the tiger's mouth. Clearly, that's going to be the end of your life. At least this lifetime, if you do that. In other words, don't do things that obviously put you in harm's way just because Krishna says, don't fear, and I'm totally surrendered to Krishna. We have to do things with some intelligence too. So fearlessness along with intelligence. Sri Krishna says, purify our existence. To be a devotee, purification of one's existence. To be a devotee and live spiritual life, inside and out, our thoughts as well as our actions, and always praying for different ways to get purified of our faults, removal of our faults, is very, very important. We are trying to be pure devotees. We don't talk like that normally, but actually this is where we're headed. We are headed towards purification, which means to be better. When purification is you're making whatever thing, if water is murky and you decide to purify the water and you start filtering it, the dirt may go out and you may have to refilter what you first, what you got. And the second time it becomes clearer and you filter again, it's even clearer, up to the point where now there's no dirt at all. That's purification. So in this existence, in our material life, purification is very important. The more we get purified, the better person we are, and the more people will feel comfortable being around us. The Supreme Personality of Godhead also says, cultivate spiritual knowledge. He didn't say cultivate material knowledge. Material knowledge gives us only temporary existence. At the end of this lifetime, that knowledge is not important anymore. Spiritual knowledge and the understanding that comes with it helps us to lead lives that will be satisfactory to Guru, satisfactory to Krishna, and therefore make it also possible to live and relate to devotees in a very, very, very understandable and acceptable way. Cultivation of spiritual knowledge allows that, as long as we apply it. If we have a lot of knowledge and we don't apply it, and situations come where that spiritual knowledge could be applied, but we act like non-devotees, then we may call ourselves devotees, but actually, the fact is we are just knowledgeable people, or gyanis, as it said. We have to apply our spiritual knowledge in everyday life. And if we don't know how, we also can pray and talk to those who are experienced. He'll tell us, you listen to lectures, the more lectures that are listened to where practical things are discussed, the more understanding that we'd have about what devotional life is about. Charity. Charity is especially charged to householders. Anybody can give charity, but it is the duty of householders to give charity. Anyone can give charity, but householders have the duty to give charity. Why? Well, the Grihastha Ashram is the ashram where people are more in touch, living lives, having more of the material energy play a role in their lives. Material energy is entangling, very entangling. And if we get entangled, we're not going back to God. When we give charity, then some of the things that we have, we are giving away to Krishna, to serve Krishna. So when we get to the point of being able to freely give of ourselves or give things for Krishna conscious project, especially giving to the temple, because the temple's business is 100% Krishna, and the temple doesn't generate any money. So when we give charity to the temple, then we're learning how to disentangle ourselves. If you let some things go in charity, giving it out, then it's going to be easier to let things go in our minds when time comes for us to leave the material world, because we understand when we die, we can't take anything that is in our possession with us. So giving charity helps us to get the mindset into, or the mind into, detachment from material things. And the other side is the person that receives it is also able to do more. And therefore, especially since all kinds of invoices, bills, repair, and paying for utilities will all come on the temple, it is important to give charity. And when we give charity to each other, gifts and prasadam, as Nectar of Instruction, Rupa Goswami says that we should do, it also increases the love between us. It makes the relationship gets wonderfully improved. And that's what's needed. Sambandha, relationships, very important. Charity does that. So much advantage then to give charity. Say everybody should give charity. Self-control. Krishna says self-control. Self-control means controlling oneself for what's one. What the body means, the senses. When the senses are under control, then the person is under control. The very first instruction in Nectar of Instruction says, the one that's able to control the tongue, that is controlled in when they eat, what they say, depending on who they're saying it to. So the speech, controlling the tongue, and controlling the belly as to when they eat, and the genitals as to when, again, that they involve themselves in sex life according to the principles laid down by Krishna. Krishna says, I'm sex life based on religious principles. The sex life that's here is for here on the earth, in all species. That's for reproduction of the same kind of species. That's what it's really for, nothing else. And because Krishna instructed the demigods to put some amount of pleasure in that activity, then people want to just like satisfying their material senses, they want to indulge in this over and over and over and over again. But that's not the kind of body that we have. The body that we have is, and it's for even all the animals and birds, they all know that. It's for fertilization of the egg for that particular species. So in the womb, the egg is there, and the egg is fertilized and the process. When the soul enters the process for begetting a species child of that same group, of that same type of body, begins. That is what that is for. So self-control is important. We also have to perform sacrifices. In Kali Yuga, by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, that process of performing sacrifice is very, very, very much simplified. When one chants, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Nam Sankirtan is our sacrifice for this age. Krishna says, study the Vedas. This is what we do. Hearing helps us to understand the important parts of the Vedas. When we say important part, we mean there are parts that are kamakandi, fruitive activities. It's also described in the Vedas. Vyasadeva did not leave anything out. So everything is described in the Vedas. And if we follow that, then it becomes very, very, very easy for us to very, very easy for us to understand what to do and what not to do. If you don't know, then anybody that doesn't know something, or doesn't know even a place, they get stuck. So to study and to get to know, that's important, as long as we're ready to apply it. Sri Krishna says, austerity. Austerity means, and it's actually very, very easily connected to detachment. To be austere means to have in mindset that we are not going to be so attached to the material things. And austerity is also connected to simplicity. If we have a lot of things around us, then, or try to acquire a lot, then how can we live a simple life? Mm. And for that matter, the Raja Rishis, like Maharaj Yudhishthir, Maharaj Dasharat, and Maharaj Pariksit himself, they all were living in palaces with so much opulence. But these Raja Rishis were always unattached to those opulences. It was there, but they could live without it. Maharaj Yudhishthira, when the time came, and he heard from Arjuna, when Arjuna returned from Dwarka, that Krishna had left, he left the palace like it didn't matter. All of the opulences there. He just put on a simple cloth and he was out of there, going to concentrate his full energy on the Supreme Personality of Godhead in bhakti. He left the administration, his administrative duties. He left it and he never thought twice of it. Therefore, they are simple at heart, even though sometimes, depending on what they have to do, these Raja Rishis would have a lot of opulence around them. Sri Krishna talked about non-violence. For non-violence, the physical, when you harm somebody, that's violence. When a soldier has to fight in a war situation, yes, it's violent, but it is required. That is the duty of a soldier. The most important thing, the most damaging violence that we can cause to anyone is to block them from serving devotionally, block their Krishna conscious activities somehow. That is worse because the person needs to be involved in Bhakti Yoga in order to get spiritual credits, in order to develop love for the Supreme Personality of Godhead eventually, and therefore be able to go back home. The very thing that we have to do, if we try to stop it, that's violence. It's the worst kind of violence, keeping the person from leaving the material world. Therefore, those who are in situations where some members of the family are trying to keep them from moving forward in the Krishna consciousness the way they want to, and the ashram they want to be in, those parents, quite frankly, are causing violence by doing that, by trying to stop it. They don't understand. They are connected to material life. They think that material success is all there is, even though everybody knows that death will come and take everything away. So anybody in that kind of situation, the first thing you have to do, you can try to advise parents, but you have to pray first for help in how that can be done. And in situations like this, sometimes you also have to make a decision, especially if you're full adult and not dependent at all materially on the parents. You have to put your foot down about it. And many times when that particular person, the young person, puts their foot down about it and takes the decision, Krishna will protect that person. And in the end, or towards the end, the parent is the one that's going to begin to understand the usefulness of this. Case in point, when Srila Prabhupada came to the United States, by Krishna's arrangement, many people that were hippies began to listen to him. They changed their lives. At first, the parents of these young people thought that Srila Prabhupada was going to be a problem for them. Why are they doing this? Why are they doing this? It's all so strange and foreign to them, the kind of lifestyle. Why has my son now shaved his head this way and left a small amount of hair in the back? And why has he changed the type of clothes? Why? Then it began to hit them. But they're not drinking anymore. They're not taking drugs anymore. I don't understand why they don't eat chicken and fish and so on, but that won't hurt them. We know vegetarians. So I may not understand why they are vegetarian, but it's not hurting them. So their health is all right. But especially, they've stayed away from intoxication and they wouldn't even gamble. And I don't have to deal with any illegitimate child, the child that is conceived without any proper planning. All of that's cut off. Therefore, the quality of life of my children has actually been raised to more to goodness by this particular guru that has come from India. So they looked at it that way. Later on, they were very thankful. So when, of course, at that time, it happened because those people that we called hippies, they were in the age that was considered as a young adults that could make their decisions. Therefore, that's why we're saying that if any devotee is in that situation and the parents still don't understand and thinking that they have to do a material kind of life as the priority, then you can make a decision to change that. And Krishna will back you up, and the devotees will back you up, and you'll be okay in the end. There should not be any fear in doing that. If we're fearful, then the Supreme Personality of Godhead says, godly men are supposed to be fearless. So that decision can be made. It's always the correct decision to go to Krishna. We have to be compassionate for all living entities. Why? They are children and in actual activity, servants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They have souls in their bodies and the souls of the real persons, just like we do also. When we are compassionate to living entities, we are making the statement that we care. Compassion is the beginning of love. When we're compassionate, we begin to show love for all living entities. Compassionate to those that are close to us, our friends, those that we know, but they're not just acquaintances, and all, this is at the human level, then all other living entities. Again, using our intelligence. But compassion should be there. We shouldn't envy anything. Freedom from covetousness. We should not envy anyone or anything, especially if we envy someone. It is a very, very, very unfortunate situation that we put ourselves in when we envy someone for whatever the reason is that they have and we don't have, or they have more than we have. If we put ourselves in that situation, we're not going back to Godhead. So this is the last point to talk about. We can't go back to Godhead because Krishna has it all. So if we envy someone with far less than Krishna owns, and we think we're going to go back to Godhead, we're going to go back to Godhead with the thought of envying one who has way more than the person that we envied here on the earth. Now, how is that possible? We're going to be nice and not have any envious feelings towards Krishna when we envy someone that has less than Krishna, but more than we have, but certainly way less than Krishna, because Krishna owns everything there is. We won't be able to keep from, the point we're making is we won't be able to keep from envying Krishna if we envy anybody, for whatever the reason is. So we have to be free from envy. That is what we did and caused us to come out of the material world. Come out of the spiritual world to this material world. So that has to go. That has to go. We should be glad and try to help people who have more to use in serving Krishna. That is proper use of our time and energy. But nobody should ever be envious of anything. We also have to be clean inside and out. And the final internal cleanliness is the chanting of the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. So these are some of the qualities that we should be about if we want to be considered a godly person endowed with divine nature. So Narada is like that. He was already a godly person. He is divine in nature. And he is requesting Lord Brahma to explain things, the questions that he had. And he's asking in a very humble way, putting himself in the role of a student. This we should be very careful to live in our lives too. To live like that, always inquiring from the spiritual master. Approach the spiritual master, inquire submissively, just like Narada was doing. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much. Vrndavanesvari Mataji was supposed to give the lecture, but she did in fact send a text saying that she was very sick. So hopefully say a short prayer for her to recover from a sickness. And she was aware she was supposed to be on there, but she couldn't make it. Anyway, so we wish her well. Hare Krishna. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Now, devotees, this is the time to unmute yourself and share the commentaries, ask questions, take some, talk about takeaways, things that you learned from this, so we can also benefit from your take on it. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances over to Prabhupada. I was just remembering a pastime when you spoke about the devotees that joined during Prabhupada's time, how they gave up everything. And one devotee that came to my mind that I wanted to share was Anutama Prabhu, not the GBC Anutama. We have not
real estate Anutama.
That's actually three Anutamas in ISKCON right now. One is the GBC Anutama Prabhu, who is our GBC proper disciple. The other one is also Anutama Prabhu proper disciple, but we call him Broker Anutama because he's a realtor.
Yeah. Very nice.
And the other one is a Bhaktimarg Swami disciple, but we call him Anutama Junior. So, yeah. So I'm talking about.
I love that.
I know. So I'm talking about Anutama Prabhu, the realtor. I remember when he met Prabhupada, he was in high school, actually. And when he was he was, I think 10th or 11th grade or something like that. He met Prabhupada at a very, very young age, when he was a teenager, actually, when he was high school. He was so attracted to the knowledge of Krishna consciousness and to Prabhupada that he surrendered to Prabhupada, took to Krishna consciousness and started going to classes. I'm talking about high school, not college, okay? There's even a picture of him, if I can, I have to find it, where he went to school in dhoti, kurta, and sikha, and tilak in high school. And
no
finished.
Kidding.
No, I'm serious. That's a very nice picture of Anutama Prabhu in that, And when he graduated from high school, he wore dhoti, tilak, sikha, and tilak, and dhoti, kurta, shaved his head and tilak and graduated from high school. He was
He must have been a devotee in a previous life then, boy, when he got it like that.
I'm serious, because they, and this is high school, he was high school. That too, in the 60s, in 70s, 60s, 70s, is like very rare, it's just like when everything was a mess at that time, right? And that there was this. So, but the parents were very happy that he stopped all the bad habits. So they supported him. They support him and they still support the family and they give a lot, in terms of support. But yeah, at that time, even, even Rukmini Prabhu, proper disciple, Mother Rukmini, she joined ISKCON when she was 16 years of age. She was the youngest that joined, actually, Prabhupada said. So yeah, these are very nice examples of devotees who surrendered their lives to Prabhupada and to the movement till this very day, and not even looking back at all. So I just wanted to share that nice pastime of Anutama Prabhu, Broker Anutama Prabhu.
Powerful, powerful, powerful message Srila Prabhupada is carrying. We had such a great effect even on a person that young, that he plunged right into it. So this person we're talking about is Gauravani's father-in-law, Gauravani's wife's father. He also called Anutama Das Prabhu. So wonderful example. Srila Prabhupada carrying the message from the Parampara. No message beats that. And when we live that lifestyle, we're going back to not only the spiritual world, but the highest planet and the planet with the greatest versatility, versatile relationship, more relationships with Krishna than any other planet in existence. And we are chanting 16 rounds of japa just to go there. Just so the requirements are so low. And at the same time, we have to be careful to relate well to each other. If there's anybody listening that doesn't relate well to devotees, they're sabotaging their own opportunity to go back home. So you have to be very careful. If there's any devotee that's listening that takes devotional service lightly or secondary in their lives and the material lives as the primary, they're making a huge mistake. Material life may seem to be what's needed now. It's only necessary to maintain the body, which will in fact fall apart, and we will die and leave it behind. But to feed the soul is very important in Krishna consciousness. And so this young man, who now is up there in age, at that time heard Srila Prabhupada, and as Srila Mati described, he just plunged headfirst into it. And he's been there since. And his wife also very, very wonderful, the Indian body, Mataji. This Anutama Das Prabhu that we're talking about, he's white body. And they are the in-laws for Gauravani, musician Gauravani. Hare Krishna. Any other comments? Questions? We just passed the hour, but any final questions?
I like the comment that you made, and it's got me really thinking, of course, that the point of envy, it was that was a very powerful point. It kind of like rerouted the brain, lack of a better word. We've heard Prabhupada say that, like we chose to come into the material world because we envied Krishna.
Mm-hmm.
And then if we continue envying in the material world, then we are no better when we were in the spiritual world. Like that, that's why we fell, So, like, that was a very powerful point for me.
Yeah, the
that I was like,
still there.
whoa, yeah. It's just like it's like I'm trying to rewrite my brain in terms of the thoughts. Like, yeah, my goodness, we came here, we chose to come to the material world because we envied the Lord. Because he was a supreme controller. We wanted to be the controller. So we envied him. So we, quote unquote, dropped and came to the material world. And if we do not learn to overcome envy, then there ain't no going back, because that's why we're here, because we envied Krishna. So that was a very nice way how you said it. And it's making me really think, like rewrite my brain, But yeah, thank you. That was very good thought for me to meditate on, like, whoa, we are in this material world with envy, but we got to get rid of it. If not, we ain't going back, because that's why we came, because we envy the Lord. So yeah, thank you. That was a very nice way to think about it. That one really struck me. Thank you.
All glory to Srila Prabhupada, the Guru and Gauranga. Yes, it's important, because if we envy anybody, then that disease of envy is still with us. And if it's still with us, remember, everything in the spiritual world, they know all about us. So if we're still envious, how can we be released to go back? We're going to start the envy again. This time, even the envy may be others, apart from Krishna only, since we are envying others here. But what little do they have, they're also going to leave behind. They're going to die and leave behind. One of the things that we need to talk to our minds about, for those who may be envious, this person has good karma, and that's why Krishna has given whatever things that they have. Good karma is not the end of the life. It's not the be-all for everything. This person has things, yes, but they are temporary, and they break down. We are going for the best of the best of the best. That is life in the spiritual world. Therefore, we shouldn't be concerned about all the material things. They will die and leave it. We will die and leave whatever we have. So it's not important. We have been given an opportunity in this lifestyle that we have, the devotional life, to get to the best that we could ever hope for in the spiritual world. And if we begin to take seriously satisfy Krishna's senses through Bhakti Yoga, we will be so happy internally. We will be so happy that material things really won't matter to us, and therefore there will be no reason to envy someone else. But yeah, if we allow envy to fester in our brain or in our minds about someone else, we can't go back to Godhead, because that means relating to Krishna, who owns everything. We will easily envy Krishna in that situation, so we can't be allowed. That's why envy, you have to be careful. Hare Krishna. Yeah. Any final point? If not, then thank you very much for coming on. Again, pray for help for Vrndavanesvari Mataji, who couldn't make it this morning. And all of you, this is towards the end, so hopefully some of you, if not all of you, will see you at the temple come Sunday. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindhivya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you again. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Jai.